Hey class, we are going to continue with some factoring notes, so factoring special products. So let's look at these examples if you want to go ahead and write them down, and then we will go through them. So we have x squared plus 8x plus 6. So there's nothing we need to factor out. We just need to make our box. And we have x squared here and a positive 16 here. So then we need to look at a product. Sum of 8 that gives us a product of 16. So product of 16 would be 1 times 16. If I add those, that's 17. 2 times 8, add those, and I get 10. 4 times 4 is 16. If I add those, it equals 8. So that's my answer, or that's my factor. So then this would be 4x, and this would be 4x. So then whenever I factor out, this is x times x. And then x times what gets 4? It's 4. And then x times what gets 4? So we actually have the same exact thing. So it's x plus 4, x plus 4. And you can also write it as, because this is the exact same thing, we can also write it as x plus 4 squared. So see how 4 plus 4 is 8, 4 times 4 is 16. Okay, let's go to the next one. We have m squared. I'm going to go ahead and make my little box here. My box is bad. We have m squared, and we have a positive 1. So we want a sum of negative 2 and a product of 1. So the only thing to get 1 is 1 times 1, and then 1 plus 1 is 2. But we want a negative 2, right? So we're going to have to change this. What about negative 1 times negative 1? That gets a positive 1. And negative 1 plus negative 1 gets a negative 2. So that's it. So it's a negative 1m and a negative 1m. Okay, so then we factor out. So we know this has to be m, this is m. M times what gets negative 1, negative 1, m. M times what gets negative 1m again, negative 1. So we have m minus 1 times m minus 1. And we can rewrite that as m minus 1 all squared. So see how these are special products? Because you're doing a factor of, or the sum and the product, and then it's actually the same number. Or same two numbers. All right, the next one, y squared minus 10y plus 25. So we know we have y squared here. We know we have 25 here. So we want the sum of negative 10 and the product of 25. So product to get 25 is 5 times 5, right? But if I add those, it's a positive 10. So I'm going to have to change them. Negative 5 times negative 5 gets a positive 25. Negative 5 plus negative 5 gets a negative 10. So that's it. So we have negative 5y and negative 5y. So this is y, this is y. Y times what gets negative 5y, and it's negative 5. Y times what gets negative 5y, it's negative 5. And negative 5 times negative 5 is 25. So our answer is y minus 5 times y minus 5, which comes out to be y minus 5 squared. Okay, so let's look at the next one. This one we're actually going to solve now. So start with our box, just like before. But we are going to solve this one. So this is a squared. This is a positive 9. So we want a sum of 6 that is from a product of 9. So to get 9, you have 3 times 3. So 3 times 3 is 9. And what about 3 plus 3? It is 6. So that's right. So this would be 3a and 3a. So then whenever we factor it out, we know this is a and this is a. A times what gets 3a, and that'd be 3. A times what gets 3a, and that'd be 3. So I have a plus 3 equals 0. Or we could say a plus 3 squared equals 0. But when we solve this, see how we only have one unique one? It's not two different ones. So we'll just do a plus 3 equals 0. So we'll subtract 3 from both sides, and that's a equals -3. And it's repeated, but you still just write it once. A equals -3. There's just one solution. Okay. All right, let's keep on going. We just have a few more. So we have x squared plus 30x equals -225. Zoe wants to sit mine. So we need to move things around. We need to get this to the other side. To get this to the other side, we add 225. So this will be plus 225 equals 0. So then we're looking at this is x squared. This is 225. And it's positive. Everything's positive. So we're looking at a sum of 30 from a product of 225. Okay, so let's see, 225. Well, we know it's 25, right? 25, and we want to see if I add those. 25 plus 9 is 34, so that doesn't work. 225 divided by 5, 45. If I add 5 and 45, that's 50, so that's not right. 225 divided by, let's see, it's a perfect square, right? Because it's 15 times 15. You may not know that, but now you do. So this is actually 15 times 15 gets 225, and 15 plus 15 gets 30. So then I can write here 15x and 15x. So when I factor out, I know this is x times x gets x squared. X times what gets 15x, and it's 15. X times what gets 15, and it's 15. So then we have x plus 15 times x plus 15 equals 0. So whenever I solve, and I can also write this as x plus 15 squared equals 0, but I'm only going to get one solution. X plus 15 equals 0. Subtract 15 on both sides. X equals -15. Okay. All right, let's look at the next one. We have x squared minus 4x equals -4. So we're going to move this over to the other side. And I get x squared minus 4x plus 4 equals 0. So then I need to do my box. X squared and a positive 4. So I'm looking for a sum of a -4 that also gives us a product of 4. So let's say 2 times 2 is 4. But if I do 2 plus 2, that is a positive 4. And I want it to be negative. So let's try -2 times -2. It's -4. -2 plus -2 gets -4. So that works. So -2x and a -2x. So then I'm going to factor out x and x. And then x times what gets -2x, and that's a -2. X times what gets negative 2? It's in that's negative 2. So it's x minus 2, x minus 2 equals 0. So in order to solve that, I just solve one of them. So x minus 2 equals 0. I'm going to add 2 to both sides. And I get x equals positive 2. Almost done. Let's do this next one. Here we have the negative 12x and minus 36 over here. So I'm going to have to do plus 12x. And I'm going to have to do plus 36. So my new equation is x squared plus 12x plus 36 equals 0. Because I had to move this negative 12x over, and I had to move this negative 36 over. So then I have x squared here, and I have a positive 36 here. So everything's positive now. So I'm looking for a sum of 12 and a product of 36. So I know 36 is 6 times 6. And what about 6 plus 6 is 12. So it's 6x and 6x. So then I factor out, so x and x. X times what gets 6x, and it's 6. X times what gets 6x, it's 6. So this is x plus 6. X plus 6 equals 0. Which, just like the other ones, we can write it as x plus 6 squared equals 0. And you just need to solve one of them, because it's going to get the same solution. So minus 6, minus 6. So x equals negative 6. All right, last one. Let's move this. It's x squared plus 64 equals negative 16x. So let's subtract 16x on both sides. And whenever I do that, I want to make sure it's in the right order, in descending exponent order. So this will be minus 16x plus 64 equals 0. Okay, so we have a box, x squared, we get 64. So we are looking for a sum of negative 16 and a product of 64. So to get 64, it's 8 times 8. 64, and then if you do 8 plus 8, you get 16. But I want a negative 16. So that means I'm going to have to do some negatives here. So what about negative 8 times negative 8? That gets positive 64. And then negative 8 plus negative 8, that's a negative 16. So that works. So it's a negative 8x and negative 8x. So then we factor out. So this is x times x. And then x times a negative 8 to get negative 8x. And x times negative 8 to get negative 8. So it's x minus 8. X minus 8 equals 0. Or we can write it as x minus 8 squared equals 0. And if we have x minus 8 equals 0, we add 8 to both sides, and we get that x equals 8, positive 8 is our solution. All right. See y'all later. Bye.